My name is Mark. I'm with John 316 Christian Bookstore. I am joined today by author Jeannette Corprew Cox. She is the author of the Sparkle and Glitter series. She has several books she's written. I'm excited to have her. Jeannette, how are you today?
I'm doing fine.
So let's start off with you telling everyone a little bit about yourself.
I'm actually from a family of 10. We grew up in Chesapeake, Virginia. And out of the 10, I was fortunate to have a beautiful identical twin, and she's no longer with us. So that's how my storybook started with Sparkle and Glitter.
That's a blessing that, such a sad situation has inspired you. Let others know about your sister's memory. How many books have you written?
Written three
And what are
thus
the
far.
titles of those books?
The first one that I wrote is sort of like a biography about Annette and I. Annette, of course, is glitter and I'm sparkle. And it's the ABCs in the life in the days of a twin. So I took the letters of the alphabet, went from A all the way to Z, and told our story. After that, as a teacher for 35 years, I always wanted that one book when the boys and girls didn't do the right thing. So I wrote about character. That's really important. I used to teach the boys and girls, even when nobody is watching you, you need to do the right thing. So I wrote 7 short stories about Annette and I as we were growing up, showing character. And the last book that I wrote is about the adventures of homeschooling with sparkle and glitter.
If you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
First word would be creative. I just thank God that He blessed me with that ability to see nothing and make something out of it. I'm a giver. I love to help. When I don't have it, I'm going to find a way to help somebody else get what they need. And my last word that I had to write that down, talented. That's it. And I just give God all the glory for the different gifts that He's blessed me with.
Who are the 3 people that have been most influential to you?
Of course, my twin, Annette. I have a baby sister by the name of Angela, who has been really inspirational to me in terms of encouraging me to continue on. And I have to say, my son, Justin, who I just adore. And of course, he's a singer. Yeah. And he writes songs. So, yeah, those are the 3 people that have inspired me, although there are more, but those are the 3 that stick out to me just now.
What is the most valuable piece of advice you received about writing?
When I first started writing, I attended a workshop, and the person that was speaking said, write about what you know. And after you know what you're saying, you have to use words so that the people will feel like they are right in the story. So that was important to me.
That's great advice. How do you use social media as an author?
Basically, before I get ready to do a book signing, or if I'm getting ready to work on a project, I actually do put it on Instagram and Facebook. So those are my main avenues that I use to advertise.
And you feel those have been helpful for you in your promotion of your products, your book?
Definitely, definitely.
What is the title of your latest book and what was the inspiration of that book?
Okay. My latest book was The Adventures of Homeschooling with Sparkle and Glitter. And from time to time, I have always loved to talk to children. You'd be amazed at how much they can share with you. So I was coming, trying to think what I write. And then one of the ladies said, Jeanette, why don't you write about what's going on right now? And
Mhm.
at that time, it was the pandemic. And I said,
Okay.
wow, that's a winner. Basically, you can get your ideas from anywhere, but I find children will give you some good ideas to work with.
Who would be the ideal reader of your latest book?
I would say children, because as a matter of fact, I want to compare and contrast things that they went through during their pandemic. And I want to show them as an author how I could use some of the real stuff and add a little bit to it. Just like I wrote a part in there about music. And of course, what I did, I said, name that tune. That's a good song. Yeah, so I actually kind of use what you know and then intertwine it with something that they might know as well. So you can get them to talk a lot.
When you're writing a book, what is your schedule like?
I really love to rise early and then pray. I ponder a lot about what I'm going to write about. Ponder and I say, ask God, give me the ideas. And after I get to rolling, I'm set.
How did you celebrate when you finish your book? Do you have a certain thing that you do or anything like that?
Can I do it? It's over. Big sigh of relief. Yeah. So
Understood.
and I was talking to my son. I said, Justin, what's some well, you know we go out and eat. And I told him, I said, no, we ain't talking about the food right now. Yeah, so that's one thing, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. That's important to pat yourself on the back a lot of times with authors being so busy in the throes and questioning whether they're really, is this what, God really wants me to say, or is this how I want the book to turn out? To kind of pat yourself on the back and give yourself some kudos is important. It's very important. So I commend you
Definitely.
on doing that. I commend you on doing that.
Thank you.
Um, let's see. What do you hope readers get out of your latest book?
The latest book, of course, is going to identify with them when they went through the pandemic. But as I began to talk, um, right now I'm substituting. So I had taken the book in one day and I was sharing with them. They couldn't believe. I say, most of my things that I write actually happen. I say, my mom did not finish high school. Their eyes went like this.
Mhm.
But I say she loved us enough, and that and I, to make sure if we did well, she wanted to celebrate us. So she made a way to get to that school, to that ceremony. And then, of course, when then I looked back and saw her, we were tickled. Yeah. So I
Oh,
want people to know that there are some moms might be by themselves, but they have to believe in their children and know if you put time in for them, they're going to make you really, really happy. So all of
yes.
your hard work will pay off.
Literary success. What does that mean to you?
Actually, as I read that question, I thought about it. I say, I think about children that four, some of them start at three, when they start reading and there's a word that they might not know, but we know we read to children more, they're going to get so excited and their vocabulary will begin to grow. So, with reading books, with exposing them to literature, yes, they will be that one that will grow up and be able to read it to someone else.
So, what grades have you taught?
Yes, I did many years in kindergarten, many years in first grade, and I did a 1-2 combination, and I did third grade 1 year.
Those are the formative years. So, to have someone that has a heart for the Lord is important, and I know that that they appreciated your kindness. So, how long did it take for you to write your latest book, The Adventures of Homeschooling with Sparkle and Glitter?
Believe it or not, if I compare that to my first book that took me almost 10 years, and that's what speared my writing. I had actually told my twin sister that I was going to write a book about us. But I got so busy in teaching,
Mm.
of course, I didn't make it.
Oh
So,
no.
but yep, I was home one day and the Lord said, I started the book and I had so many mishaps. My computer had stopped and all. And I said, no. I'm going to finish that book. So it took me about 7 to 10 years to finish the first book. The third book was a cinch. Believe
Mhm.
it or not, it did not take me long to write that one. And I just had the ideas and I used what I knew about teaching myself and using, yeah, in a day during the day, what would happen in a day of school. I
Mhm.
included the recess and all that, but I twisted and then let it happen at home.
Do you see writing as part of your spiritual practice?
You know what? One good thing about that, anything that you love, anything that you have a desire for, it will, I won't say it naturally, but you're going to do it more often, more as
Mhm.
more. So even with my writing, I find myself writing in diaries, journals. So the more you do anything, it will become a habit and you can kind of use some of your activities and twist it around and it will work for you.
How has God blessed your book ministry? Do you have any particular stories you like to share? Or anything you've noticed where God has been miraculous?
Yes, I was at home one day and received a call from I I looked at the number and I thought and I answered. I was at the time going back and forth because my mom had passed, so I didn't
Sorry to hear that.
receive the call at that time. But I was so elated. The person on the other end said, "Yes, we would like Sparkle to come to our Sunday school and teach a lesson." And I was just tickled. And I went there, we set it up and all, and I was able to use some of my teaching school skills
Hmm.
and taught about Joseph, using a little creative storytelling and all. And that was just wonderful to me. And now I have the opportunity. I'm subbing, which I'm loving, and I'm able to talk to children by the wayside. And one today came up to me and said, "Was it be a twin?" And I thought that was, I said, I loved every minute of it. And she said, "How do I find out?" She said, "I have to buy the book, don't I?" And I said, "Well, you know what?" I said, "We're going to work something out." I said, "I have some books that I autographed a little early and I didn't get rid of them, but I said, I'll be more than happy you to tell mom that I have a few and you can get it for a little cheaper." And she
Hmm.
said, "Really?" I said, "Yes, we can work that out." So I'm just meeting people. I've just enjoyed telling my story.
That's a blessing. This latest book, did you have to do a lot of research in regards to the writing of the book?
Yes, I have so many friends that are teachers, and yes, I have one friend in particular that she taught in Dumfries at that time, and I was on the phone. "Girl, what are they doing there? The work." Well, we have to prepare these packages, and also I was trying to get it just right before I published. So yes, she was my head of look, my eyes, everything. So I wanted to make sure. So talking, talking with people, especially in your profession, whatever's going on around that time, yes, you want it correct. So I was able to do that.
So the books that you have published, this is coming from an independent author's perspective. The publisher of the first book, did they do your second and third book?
Yes, they did. I was so impressed with the person that did the illustrations. So
Hmm.
I at first it was a little slow because my twin and I were actually identical. We just looked
Wow.
alike. So
Wow.
the one first author that tried to do it, and I just said, "I need everything the same. I want the dresses the same." And I said, "That's what mom did." So,
Hmm.
so then they went to somebody else. And
Hmm.
then I said, "Nope, not right." And then the third person that took the job understood me. So,
Hmm.
so we got off pretty good. And I shared what I wanted because it was my book. I was writing it. I wanted it to be just right. So so basically that's the whole story behind, because one wanted to do a dress, but had it a different the collar. Nope.
Mhm.
Uh-uh. We look the same. We look the same. So that worked out fine. Yeah.
So the illustrator and the publisher, they came as one package, or
Yes.
and
Yes.
how did you go about finding the publisher for the book?
It was in the week about 3 o'clock one morning and
Mhm,
was on Facebook, and the publisher was doing a program. And I
mhm.
said, my goodness, I can't believe, and we actually went to church together. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
body. So I reached out to her. We hit it off, and then I knew another young lady who had
Mhm,
gotten something published there.
mhm.
So we were able to keep it going, keep it going. So yeah, so it was a little friendship, and you know, they, we kind of connected.
Now, on the flyer, I see that you're dressed as Sparkle. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about the dressing of Sparkle and what you may incorporate into your presentations.
Okay. Sparkle, I was teaching Bible, vacation Bible school, and met this young lady. She was about 10.
Mhm,
She was very gifted. So I shared with her my idea. I say, I need a name for, I say, I want to go ahead and write some books about my twin and
mhm,
I need a name.
mhm.
And she said, Sparkle. And my eyes, I went, yes, perfect. Then
Mhm,
I say, but who are we gonna call my sister? And she thought for a moment. She said, Glitter.
uh,
Yeah. No kidding. And it was this fabulous, beautiful person. So the names fit perfectly. So what I did, I actually, and I, as a school teacher, I always enjoyed dressing up
mhm.
as characters.
Okay.
So that was my whole thing. I could be a superhero one day, and uh, Amelia Bedelia one day, a
Mhm,
leprechaun. That was my thing. So I
mhm.
said, let me just bring it on over into my books. So when I go and meet people, I'm Sparkle, and you're gonna get to meet Glitter on Sunday. No, no, Saturday.
Yes.
Yes, you're gonna enjoy Glitter. So she comes along with me, and the kids love her.
Is there anything particular you hope readers get out of this book, The Adventures of Homeschooling with Sparkle and Glitter?
Yes, I push good grades, and I tell kids anything you want to do, believe you can do it. And then when I was teaching early on, I would love writing plays, and we would change the characters. And before we chose the characters, I kind of knew who would fit in each. And then I would just call them. I say, "Hey, you think you could do it?" All I need them to say was yes. And I
Mhm,
said,
mhm.
you believe you could do it? You could do it. Yeah. So that's my whole thing, is instilling in children you can do whatever you want to do or become. Follow your dreams.
Do you have a special routine that you do in order to get you into the correct headspace to write before you begin? Is there something that you do special?
Only thing I can do is I say a prayer. God, help me. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 tells us if we acknowledge him in all our ways, he will direct our path. So I have to depend on him to direct me so that I'll get it all together.
Oh, that's exciting. Jeanette, it's been a pleasure talking to you. You have a phenomenal story and a dynamic book ministry. Just one last question I wanted to ask you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years with your book ministry?
You know what? I was just telling someone the other day, I would love for my first book to become a movie. And I was watching these set of twins. I said, oh, they might work. I really, yeah, I really would like to tell our story, because, even though she left, our goal is to continue to spread the news about this phenomenal woman. I just give God the glory for my mom and dad who grew us up in a way, because character is really important. We have to know how to conduct ourselves in each and every way.
I want to take this time to thank Jeannette Corprew Cox for speaking with us today. She's an awesome person. She's been a joy to work with, and I'm excited for what God has in store for her. Jeannette, thanks for taking the time out to talk with us.